I promised a video on soul contracts, so here it is, and I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but I'm just going to wing it because it's not easy to put out there. Before you incarnate here on earth as whoever you think you are, you decide on everything. You meet with your counselors and guides, and you decide what you want to experience on this earth, what lessons you're here to learn, and you make soul contracts with all the people in your soul family. And you have many people in your soul family. You've played out many lives with these people in different roles. Sometimes you're the husband and they're the wife. Sometimes you're the father and they're the daughter. It doesn't matter. You do many lives. And we incarnate for specific reasons into specific families that offer us certain patterns that we can learn from. Okay, so as someone who spent so much time in the hospitality industry, and it just doesn't apply to the hospitality industry, it's life in general, any industry that you're in, but I've seen these soul contracts play out over and over and over again. Everybody thinks they have one soulmate. Well, there's only one. I'm looking for my soulmate. You have many soulmates, and you're experiencing this life with those soulmates. Some of those soulmates are supposed to be villains in your scenario. Some are here to bless you with information. Either way, don't spend your whole life simply seeking out that primary soulmate, that person you're supposed to have that intimate partnership with and be married to and live the rest of your life with. Sometimes you've incarnated so many times that you incarnate with people from other soul families. Yes, you're incarnating outside of your soul family with others to learn certain lessons. So you may go through this life without ever having a primary soulmate in this particular life. And that's okay. Everybody thinks that they failed if they don't find their soulmate. So these soul contracts play out in many different ways. I've studied this for years. I've seen I listened to one soul contract or read about one soul contract where he was simply a guard at a concentration camp in Nazi Germany, and his whole reason for incarnating was to look at a child in the eyes as he was headed to his death and give him comfort. And they had incarnated many lives together. He spent his entire life, his entire existence for that one moment. And these are pretty typical. I had one where I had what I believe to be a soulmate, and the only purpose of that relationship, the 7 months that it was for her to give me a book. One single book. I remember going to her house. It was called Journey of Souls. I remember going to her house and saying, "Oh, wow, you're into this too?" And asking to borrow that book. And I read that book, and the floodgates opened. And the spiritual awakening, it was already going on, but the spiritual awakening really took off. But that's a soul contract. That person was here just for that. Now, that particular relationship kind of ended a little bit badly. I thought, geez, man, I put in 7 months. I could have left after 2. I remember a fight after like 2 months. I could have gotten the hell out of there. And that's the way these things work out. You're supposed to just leave. You're supposed to move on because that soul contract's been fulfilled. So soul contracts aren't always what you think. Some people come into your life to bless your life. Some people come in as villains, man. Sometimes you get back into you go back to heaven, and you're in the soul world, and you're with your soul family, and somebody taps you on the shoulder, and you turn around, and it's some guy who may have fucked me over in this life, and he says, how did I do? Was I a good villain? And I'm going to remark, you were the best villain. I hated you so much. And we're going to embrace, and we're going to love each other, and we're going to laugh about it. I mean, we're going to laugh about it. And I'm going to teach you how to laugh about all this in the end. It's good. It was a way I learned to laugh about it. So these soul contracts are very hard to figure out if you're living, your incarnation on this earth, because we forget everything. We're the only planet where you incarnate and you forget everything, okay? And that's the point of awakening. You're here to remember. So we forget all this. And I see it play out so many times over the last 40 years in the hospitality industry. And it's usually certain scenarios like this, okay? You're at work and you see, two people that are dating. And you sit there and you say, how many times have you heard this, okay? What is he doing with her? Or she's too good for him. What's going on there? I don't understand. I don't get the whole relationship. Well, it's probably a soul contract, some sort of soul contract. Whether they're supposed to be together for the rest of their lives, or whether they're together to teach each other one particular thing, you don't know that. And they don't know that. So it's none of your damn business. Just leave them alone. I can't tell you how many times people say, well, he's too good for her. I'm going to go take him away. Yeah, let's do that. And, they get with all their friends. I've seen it at work 1,000 times. Yeah, you go convince him that his girl's cheating on him, and then I'll swoop in and, I'll be together with him. If you do that, I've seen it play out 1,000 times over the years. Instant karma will come your way. Karma will come around full circle and bite you right on the ass. I guarantee it, because you're messing with somebody else's soul contract. You're messing with somebody else's soul progression. And those two were together for a reason. And you know what's going to happen? If you might be able to take that guy or that girl away from that person, but karma's going to come your way, and it's going to end badly. And guess what? They're probably going to end up right back with that person, and you're going to feel so much worse in the end. Yes, I've seen it play out thousands and thousands and thousands of times. There are times when I just sit back and smile from ear to ear and think, enjoy your soul contract, because don't fuck it up, because it's going to be really, really difficult for you, karmic-wise. I leave those people alone. I think that you should always just leave those people alone. Here's another way people interfere in everybody else's soul contracts. When things go bad for people in life, you feel bad for them. Hey, we're compassionate people. We want to help people out. At least I do. But how do you help them out? When people's lives fall apart, they usually just want you to give them money so that they can put their life back together. I don't offer that. If you offer that, you're messing with somebody's soul development, in my opinion, and that's not going to work out for you. So what I offer is advice. I offer love. I offer compassion and understanding. Unfortunately, a lot of humans just don't accept that. Save your shit, just give me the money, and I'll get my life back on track. Well, to me, that's interfering in something. So I don't interfere in soul contracts. I let these soul contracts play out. I like to watch them with amusement. And here is, I'll offer you this that helped me understand that not everything is so desperate and serious. You incarnate many times in many lives. Everybody's so desperate and serious. I have to do something in this life. I have to make something of myself. I have to be, a historical figure. I have to do great things and make millions of dollars. You don't. that might not be your soul contract. Maybe in a past life you were supposed to do that. But in this life, just pay attention to what you're supposed to be doing, what feels right. You don't have to give in to the pressures of society that everything is so desperate and serious, like your relationships. You know, when you raise your vibrational frequency high enough, you'll figure out that people come and go from your life. It's okay. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to lay in a fetal position and say, oh my God, they broke up with me, or the relationship ended badly. It was supposed to end badly. And if it ended badly like that, you probably stayed too long. You know, the spiral of life dictates that this universe is an ever-changing universe. And trying to create permanence in a universe that is built for constant change, well, that's when you experience suffering. And that's when really bad things happen, because the universe has to end certain cycles so that you can move on and achieve everything that your soul development is here to achieve. So here's what I came up with that helped me understand not to be so desperate and serious about all this stuff. And that is, I was watching Saturday Night Live, and I saw the most hilarious parody. This guy's name is Matt Schatt, and they did 3 different segments on this. How they put Jennifer Lopez with him in one, and who was it? Margot Robbie in another. I can't remember who was in the third one, but Matt Schatt is this loser type of guy, and these beautiful women are with him, are married to him. And the reporter in the scene can't figure out why these two are together. Why are these two together? This makes no sense to me. The world just doesn't make sense. This is what I've seen 1,000 times over the years, and everybody's so desperate and serious about it. Everybody treats it like it's the end of their life, that they have to do this. They have to be with this person or get that person out of this relationship or that relationship, and they interfere in people's soul contracts. But it's not that serious, and it's not that you don't have to suffer, I guess, is what I'm trying to get across to you. You look at those Saturday Night Live parodies and you laugh your ass off. What does she see in him? Why is she with him? And they're so funny. I laugh constantly through the whole thing. But soul contracts are like that. You can't figure out what 2 people are doing together, why they ended up together. Just leave it alone, man. Leave it alone. Stay out of it. Your karma will thank you when you have no karma coming out of that. Just leave those people alone, and recognize in your own life that you have certain people coming in and out of your life that are soul contracts. And they're there for a very specific reason. Remember the guy I told you about? He was just there his whole life was meant to give that kid a look right before he died that would comfort him and let him know that everything was going to be okay. I had one where a female came into my life, and man, it was not an easy relationship. But that one book did it for me, man. That one book was that soul contract. I guarantee I made a soul contract with that person. And it was just, you're going to come into my life at this particular time when I've accomplished this, this, and this, and give me that book or expose me to that book, and then I'll take it from there. That was the soul contract. So we have several soul contracts. We make several soul contracts. You're never going to know what the purpose of those soul contracts was while you're going through them. Just recognize that there's always a reason for everything. Everything is happening in your life for a reason. You either orchestrated it before you came into this life so you could learn something, or you created some sort of karmic mess, and now you're getting your instant karma. And by the way, instant karma is the best thing for you because it lets you work it out in this lifetime. How many of those people do you see They go through their whole life evil, evil people, and they have ungodly amounts of money and an easy life. Well, guess what? They're going to come back and reincarnate several lives to work off that karma. At least you got the opportunity to work it off in this lifetime through instant karma. That's why I love instant karma. But these soul contracts are not anything to mess with. Amuse yourself by just thinking, wow, I can't even imagine what those two are doing together, but I can't wait to get back to the spirit side so I'll know. Good luck.